Hey guys, I'm Ed Kimber, or as I'm better known on the internet, the boy who bakes. Feed is in London today, so they've come to my flat, or apartment I guess, to see how I make my ultimate chocolate chip cookies. It's a very simple recipe, it's utterly delicious, so I'm going to show you how to make it. So we're going to take our butter, which is at room temperature, so it's just a little bit soft, just over a cup, so 220 grams of the castor, super fine or granulated. There's a cup full of the light brown sugar, which is 220 grams as well. So we're going to beat those together just for about 3 minutes or so to help the sugar dissolve. The sugar going all over my counter. Baking's not meant to be tidy. Oh, that's what I tell my boyfriend. Creatively chaotic is how I like to say it. So whilst that's mixing, I'm just going to work on our eggs. So it's just 2 large eggs, but in the US, that would be an extra large egg. So I'm going to add the eggs one at a time. So once that's combined, we're going to add our dry goods. We're going to add 500 grams of all-purpose plain flour. So we're going to add a teaspoon each of baking powder and baking soda, because it really makes the cookie puff up. My whiskers vanished, so I'm going to use a dough whisk, which is not what we should do really, but it has a teaspoon of flaked sea salt. We're going to add our vanilla. I'm not going to weigh this or measure this, because it's just a teaspoon. So just do that by eye. Mix that to combine. Now this is where it's going to go everywhere. I could pretend and I could do this in a nice way so it won't, but that's not life. So all we're going to do is try and pulse this just until it's combined. We're going to do our chocolate. So this is about a fifth of my chocolate collection. So in this recipe, it uses dark chocolate, but I've started adding a tiny bit of milk chocolate in just for a little bit of variety. I'm roughly going to add 100 grams of the milk to 400 grams of the dark. You can use anything roughly in the 60 to 70% variety, but because we're adding milk chocolate, to be honest, you can really use whichever you prefer. So I'm using discs, but if you want to chop a bar of chocolate, that's totally fine. To the mixer. And then once that's fully combined, we need to rest this in the fridge. So really it needs at least 4 hours, but my preference is 24 to 48 hours. It helps to hydrate the dough so it bakes more evenly, but also it will just taste a little bit more caramelized. But I do have another dough that I've already made, so we can show you how to actually make some cookies. So we're going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. I just spoon it and weigh it. Each cookie will weigh about 60 grams. Has these nice big puddles and pools of chocolate. And I think people get confused why their cookies don't have them, because they look like this when they go in the oven. So the simple answer is you just take some extra chocolate and you do that. Ta-da! So the thing I like about this recipe is it's kind of quite adaptable. It's a really good cookie base on its own, so if you don't want to do a chocolate chip cookie or you want to do something different, you absolutely can. Final thing we're going to do is add a little bit of flaked sea salt. Just like everything, it's really important to taste the salt and see how it feels for your recipe. These are going to go in the oven for about 16 minutes or so. And the way we want them to be finished is they want to be nice and golden around the outside, but still looking a little bit underbaked maybe in the middle. And like with everything, baking happens out of the oven as well. As soon as you take them out of the oven, it doesn't stop. You get residual heat, so we want to make sure that we still get that nice, chewy, soft, kind of proper chocolate chip cookie texture in the middle and that crisp outside edge. So it's a guideline. Like everything in baking, the timing is guideline. You're looking for visual cues more than anything. They're so good. Crispy edge, soft center. It needs that mixture of textures for me. And I love that salt on top. It just really brings out all those flavors out. But it's really good. So if you want the recipe, you can find it on thefeed.com. I'm off to have a cup of tea and a chocolate chip cookie because that's basically all I ever do. You can see I have hundreds of books, and that's all I read is about baking. A chef once told me, she said to me, if you ever stop learning, then you should quit working in food instantly, because a chef should always be learning.